One more point before my race prediction is that this Sunday, 2:30 a.m., yes, we're going live here in the studio. You better believe it. Can you believe it? Long distance running fans around the world. This is, okay, I said this 9 months ago that this is the Ali, for all the boxing fans out there, the Ali versus Frazier moment, okay? I'm not gonna say the race of the century. That's a little bold. A century is a long time. But I am going to say perhaps the race of the decade, all right? Unless these two runners meet again in the Tokyo Olympics 2021. Now, once it was officially announced that Bekele was going to battle Kipchoge in London, everyone was very excited. But then the pandemic struck and everything was changed. The course was changed. The citizens race was eventually canceled. So instead of here's the typical London Marathon course on your screen, okay? There it is. Weaving through the streets of London, but that's not going to happen anymore, and no spectators, and we're going to come back to that in a second. So instead, the new course is a looped course, a 2K, about 2K looped course through St. James Park, which is right in front of Buckingham Palace, and this is where the London Marathon course usually finishes as well. And from what I understand, the course, the new looped course is very flat, incredibly flat, in fact. But now they're gonna have to turn more. So this new course is gonna create 19 laps. That is a lot of turning. So the current course record for the real London Marathon course is 2:02:39. Yes, held by Kipchoge, which he set in 2000. I guess it would have been 2019. But now I predict, and this is going to connect to the question of the day in a minute. I predict that the course, that they are not going to run faster than that time. Maybe, and I'm going to be very curious to hear your thoughts on the question of the day here in a minute, but I predict that their times are actually going to be a little slower, only because of the fact that it's going to be a looped course and just turning so many times over, 19 laps. It's just harder to run fast on corners. Now, as far as the weather and the start time and the crowds and the shoes that they're going to wear, okay, let's break all this down. As far as the weather goes, and I don't know if all the locals in London, what is your go-to weather source, but for me, I'm just going to jump on bbc.com. So this is the weather for Sunday the 4th. Maybe a potential for a little bit of rain, but maybe that's pretty. Maybe for the locals, you look at those 20% chance of rain in the morning, and you're like, that's nothing. Like, that's pretty typical for London. It probably is my guess. As far as the start time, the women start at 8:55 a.m. The elite women start at 8:55 a.m. local time, okay, 8:55, and the men start at 9:30 a.m. local time. So we're looking at about 9 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees Celsius, so right around there, and there it is on your screen in Fahrenheit. And let's talk about the crowds. Who has a bigger advantage with no crowds? So they're not allowing spectators to be along the looped course through St. James Park. Personally, this is just my opinion, just an opinion. I think no crowds helps Bekele more. I think the crowd energy helps Kipchoge more. Okay, I think he feeds off the crowd noise. For some reason, I just sense that in his personality. When you watch him race on TV, when I saw him race in Vienna, it just felt like he really enjoys that type of atmosphere. And I'm sure Bekele does as well. But that's what my gut is telling me as far as crowd size and crowd noise goes, that and another way to look at it is that Kipchoge maybe benefits more from having crowds along a course. But there are not going to be any crowds, any spectators on this looped course. Maybe they're going to pipe in some crowd noise like over the loudspeakers. I don't know, because that's what they're doing here in the United States and actually probably around the world for soccer games. But for football games, baseball games, they're pumping in crowd noise through the loudspeakers just to help create that atmosphere for the athletes. And as far as shoes go, here we go. Over on the shelf, we've got the Alpha Fly Next Percent and then just the old school next percent. Actually, the 4% I guess is in the house right now, but of course they're both going to be racing in the Alpha Fly next percent. Or are they? All right, is Nike going to pull something out of their hat where they have an update? I don't know. This is all speculation, but that would be I wouldn't be shocked. It's Nike that if they had an update to, because this shoe now is over 6 months old, which is frankly a lot of time for Nike to develop something for their elite athletes. Maybe, shaving some weight off of the Alpha Fly Next Percent. Obviously, there's no way one of them's going to race in the Next Percent. Who knows? Maybe it's even in their contract that they have to race in the Alpha Fly Next Percent, or maybe an elite version of the Alpha Fly Next Percent. So that's my thought on the shoe proposition for this race. And now on to that question of the day. And I got to tell you right now, it breaks my heart that I'm not going to be there filming for all of you. That was one of my high goals for 2020, was to get to watch this race go down in person and film it and tell the story for all of you. Tried to get a press pass, didn't happen. And then once I heard that they were not allowing any spectators, I decided that, it just wasn't in the cards for now. So anyway, but question of the day, and before you answer down in the comments, maybe hit pause, because I'm gonna give my prediction here in 1 second. But question of the day: who is going to win, of course, and what times are they going to run? And I will just add a little addendum here. It's not just Kipchoge versus Bekele. Here it is on your screen, the other racers as well. All right, some really talented runners in the field, okay? And one more point before my race prediction is that this Sunday, 2:30 a.m., yes, we're going live here in the studio. You better believe it. I don't know yet. In fact, if you have some information, post in the comments how I'm going to live stream it. I know it's going to be live on the BBC, but I don't get the BBC. So I got to figure out how I'm going to live stream it here in the studio. And so I'm going to go live, break down the race, hopefully in real time. And obviously it's early for everyone here in the United States, but it's like, this is the race. This is the race, not even at least of 2020, right? And probably until, next spring. Hopefully the Boston Marathon, maybe Tokyo. I don't know the next time we're going to have a high level elite race at the marathon distance for all of us to cheer on. So upper right hand corner, link to the live stream, set your reminder. It would be amazing to hang out with all of you here live in the studio as we watch the race together. And again, I'm still researching to figure out how I'm going to watch it live out here. Oh, so excited. My race day prediction is that who is going to win? Bekele versus Kipchoge. All right, you ready for this? Here's my rationale. I think that Kenenisa Bekele is going to win. I think he's going to beat Kipchoge if Bekele is healthy and if he is in peak fitness. I think Bekele wins, okay? Now, I think Kipchoge wins if he pulls off better race day tactics. If you go back to the 2019 London Marathon, Kipchoge threw down at mile 14. He just unleashed some incredible splits for the next 3 miles. But my prediction is that Kipchoge is going to push the pace in the middle of the race. Mile 14, mile 15, mile 16. But can he break Bekele, let's say, before mile 23? If Bekele is there at mile 23, I predict that he wins. I think Bekele's speed, again, going back to his track times. Now, I realize he's older. I realize he's battled injuries more than Kipchoge has. But my gut is telling me that if Bekele is healthy and at peak fitness, which I have not heard in the news nor on his social media that he's hurt or that he's had any pause in his training really since, I believe it was June that I saw a couple updates. I haven't heard it anyway. And maybe they're holding their cards close to their chest, but that's my race day prediction. And yes, down in the comments, let us know yours. Who's going to win? And once again, what times will they run? Keeping in mind it's a brand new looped course, it's going to be pretty difficult to predict because we don't have any other past races to base it on. But I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Again, live stream 2:30 a.m. Sunday here in the studio. Please, spread the word. tell your running friends, this is the moment. Like, we didn't have the Olympics this year. We didn't have so many things to cheer on in 2020. So I'm just excited to hang out with all. I'm gonna pop popcorn. You know, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Maybe have some champagne out here. It's gonna be fun. Onward and upward. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Actually, I just remembered I still have champagne from the Pikes Peak Marathon, so I might have some champagne out here at 2:30 in the morning. All right, everyone, seek beauty. Actually, we're gonna toss it. Sorry, we're gonna toss it back to. We'll toss it back to the Ineos 159 challenge from Vienna. Boom, right there, right there. Oh, butter the bread, everybody. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow and on Sunday.